Good morning, folks. Welcome to Porch Talk. I guess I should call it Pond Talk. I've been down here the last 2 or 3 times. Just enjoy coming down here. Thought I'd share that with y'all. My thoughts this morning, you can't help but watch a little news every now and then, and it seems like every time I turn the news on, they're threatening to take away our guns and gun rights. And looking back in the 60s and 70s when I was in school, we drove our trucks, old single cab pickups, to the up in the parking lot of the school, and it wasn't nothing to see your buds pull up and have guns in the racks, and those old plastic gun racks that in them single cab pickups be full of guns, and nobody stole them or nobody used them, and you just didn't hear about any kind of shootings back then. And I've heard people talk about that very subject on the news. But the reason I feel like that we're slipping away into these kids going off the deep end and going down and mowing down innocent kids is years ago, back in those days when we had guns in our racks, when you went inside the school, first thing you'd hear in the morning was the principal over the intercom saying a prayer, and he would pray over the whole school and safety and love of God and that kind of stuff. And then you would turn to the flag and you would pledge allegiance to it. And most everybody on Sunday mornings, your mom and dad was dragging your butt to church. And that generation has seemed to have kind of melted away, and all this these liberals and these people that think that that your religions is getting on their nerves or whatever it is through the court systems, liberal court systems, they have took the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance out of school, replaced it with condoms and birth control pills for kids. And my wife even I hadn't heard it, but it was a scary thought that she said that she had seen somewhere or read somewhere where a kid can get an abortion through the guidance counselors or whoever does that in these schools without the consent of the mom and dad. And whoever heard of such craziness as that? But back to the guns and our protection and our rights, just about every home, we're from the South, but it's not just in the South, is just millions of us that we're just peaceful as the next guy is, and love the Lord, and try to help your neighbors and just live a good godly life, would in a million years ever do something stupid with a gun. But I say this, my wife, she wasn't brought up really around guns, and she was actually from California. But we live out here in the sticks by ourselves. If you dial 911, it's probably 30 minutes or so. Sometimes they're in the area and get to you in 30 seconds, but most of the time it takes them a while to get here. And we are the law here on this property. And if somebody invades a home down here in these folks in the country, they will be met with brute force of whatever they've got. And the AR things come up. And I got my wife one because they don't kick. And the high capacity rounds, she's not the best gunman in the world, but she can sit there and without having to reload, defend herself if our home's invaded. And if some crackhead comes through the window or door and tries to harm her and I'm not around, she knows exactly what to do to defend herself. So you come and take these guns away from us. First it's the AR, and then somebody will use a shotgun to do some killing. And well, we're gonna take the shotguns, and then before you know it, these liberal laws and judges will have us to where we're down to maybe a BB gun, a Daisy, with the old Red Ryder Daisy BB gun might be okay to use against a predator or somebody coming in to get you. But you know, you remember the movie? It's an old movie, World War II. We was in it with Japan in the movie Tora, Tora, Tora. And I remember a line, one of the Japanese colonels or whatever he was standing on the deck of that ship after they bombed Pearl Harbor. And he said something like that, we've awakened a sleeping giant, or something like that. I'm probably not getting it right, but that sleeping giant, the liberals don't realize that they better leave the whole gun issues alone. I mean, I'm not about to go jump into some kind of crazy army of people out of the country, but if you go and have police force or military come in and start taking guns away from these just taxpayers, you know, lovers of God, they are probably going to rise up. And I hate to even be talking about something like that, but going back to the sleeping giant, they better leave that alone and think about what they're doing. The way to fix this problem with these kids is put your prayer back in the schools. Their mom and dads, if they've got one, start getting their butts to church. And just learn the morals, the good morals that Bible teaches. But, you know, it's just really troubling, though, that they want to do that. And but anyhow, I want to share that with you guys this morning. Hope y'all have a blessed day. This was Pond Talk today. Talk to y'all later.